Welcome to the K-State Insiders, your Kansas State sports show. Now, let's head into the studio.
Welcome to the Insiders. We're going with three of us today. It is Big B, Gills, and Fitz. Cole Carmony's actually, what's he doing? He's got parent meetings or something?
Yeah.
The life of a teacher?
Yeah. Not only does he educate the youth, he educates the youth's parents. What a guy.
I guess so. I don't trust him doing that, though. I trust him with the kids. I don't know. This is the Insiders. Fitz and Gills and Big B, and we're going to get after it a little bit today, probably talking mostly hoops, but we want your input too. We want you to help us guide this a little bit. Because honestly, I'm a little bit talked out about K-State basketball, but it needs to be discussed more. And let's start with the news of the day, I guess. Had an arrest now. I don't last week it was something dealing with OnlyFans and Instagram, and now we got this as grad assistant. I'm totally spaced his name just now.
Mark Vital.
Thank you. God, my memory sucks. Was arrested on, I think, domestic battery violence, something like that. So, of course, we'll be following up on that at some point. It's just kind of an endless stream of crap, guys. It just is. And it's exhausting. And I think the fans are absolutely exhausted.
Have you peeked at the message boards on Wabash Station?
No, I was just napping. Because
Lucky you.
when I see you, I've got to be rested up because you're exhausting.
Thanks.
Why? Is it bad over there? Let me go look.
Well, yeah, people aren't happy. People aren't happy. You know, if Kansas State was, 3-8 in Big 12 play, nobody would really give a crap. But when the team's this bad, people have opinions, don't they?
I mean, the thing about it is, it's just when bad things happen, and it just seems to continue to roll and roll and roll. It's kind of like even when good things happen. When good things happen, it just, things continue to be on an upward swing. It's just, I don't know. The one thing that I would say about this game, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but at least they didn't quit. They didn't quit. They fought, because I'm pretty confident TCU's a better basketball team than K-State is. I'm confident of that. And I mean, it's easy to see K-State gave the game away. Like, they literally gave it away. So, I feel confident about it, but you guys are right. It's just a bad juju going on with the basketball program right now. And
it really is.
It's just bad juju. And we all know the only real reason or way to get that stopped. Whether we talk about it or not, that's a different conversation. But you got to do something. You can't just continue to let this spiral it's already out of control.
Yeah.
And it's already at rock bottom, I guess. It could be lower. I guess it could be worse, but I don't know. At some point, you got to do something. You can't just expect something better to happen by doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, I agree. It's a mess right now. But let's start there with the game a little bit. I said this in my daily delivery the following morning. I had Gills handle the power talk because he was on hand and would probably have a better grasp of the team and how they felt. But I said this: I appreciated the effort for most of the game. This isn't a great team, so they had their lull at the end of both halves, and that's kind of been a trait that they can't put it all together for an extended length. But considering all of the absences and other things going on, those guys fought. They're just not very good. And the back-to-back turnovers in the final 19 seconds of the game, that's how you lose. Bad teams find ways to lose. Good teams find ways to win. And I don't think that was TCU winning. That was just K-State. Both of those turnovers were silly and careless. Just careless. It's just amazing to me. And I'm going to say this: that in the post game, he said we just needed someone to make a play. Why don't you put your guys in a position to make a play? I mean, if you're end of game sequence is go score. Why are you getting paid millions of dollars? Go score, guys. Just go make a buck. Look, at the end of the day, this team has had flaws, and TCU exposed those flaws in a nick of time, quite literally. Nice win by the Frogs. They needed it more than K-State, 84-82. But it just adds to the misery of the K-State faithful that now their team is blowing an 18-point lead. 18-point lead. But in fairness, Gills, doesn't it feel like that's happening in college basketball a lot? Like leads aren't safe anymore. I mean, it can be in the 20s and people come back. It's happening all over college basketball, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. And I'm not a big NBA guy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody who's listening is. I think every NBA game I watch or see is like someone has a huge lead and then it just evaporates. And so Kansas State is certainly among the many issues. You know, the late game execution is poor, but you don't end up in that situation where you have to execute late if you just keep your foot on the gas. Now, 99 times out of 100, guys, it's okay. I don't want to say okay, but warranted, valid to really criticize a team for the way it falls apart late, the way this team has. But shorthanded, obviously the injuries are what they are, but the flu was going around this team. It was what PJ and Kamari and Doreen all had the flu. And so, you know, Tang said they might only have 5 players. And so trust me, guys, we have been on these shows pretty damn hard on this team. But one thing that you absolutely not question was the effort in Fort Worth. Like I saw it with my own eyes. These guys were fighting. The bench, you know, there was good camaraderie in this team and coming together through some tough times. And so, yeah, Fitz, like Jerome Tang's, he mentioned, like, guys, got to go out and make plays. And ultimately the head coach should put guys in better positions. I'm 1000% with you. That kind of went past my mind initially there just because the rest of that presser, though, was good. Tang said the right words. There was no real controversy that was going to stem from that presser. And so, like, you know, there's been a lot of bad games. Bowling Green, KU, Iowa State, the way those two ended. It's unacceptable for the way Kansas State lost in Fort Worth at the end. I mean, it's happened time and again this year. But given all the circumstances, you know, a team fought its ass off. I've seen a lot worse. I'm willing to give this team right now, you know, some grace, but on the court, it's not a good team, of course.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a good basketball team. But you're right, Gills. At the end of games, at some point, you got to start doing something different. And Fitz, you're right. Put guys in better position to make plays. You got to have better in-game. And by the way, in case anybody was wondering, end-of-game sequences is all coaching. It is 100% coaching by getting a guy to do exactly what you want him to do. Hey, we're not freelancing this, okay? This is what we need to do to get a basket, to get a free throw, to get to the line. This is not a freelance. And you practice those things. You're not freelancing this. Do this, exactly this, to get this. It's not hard, or it shouldn't be hard, should I say. And I don't know, but I mean, I think we kind of danced around it, but or maybe not. But the end of games, when you can't execute at the end of the game, you're a bad basketball team. And I don't think there's no doubt about it that that's what Kansas State is. But again, I want to kind of focus a little bit on the positive because, like I said, and Gills, you said, and Fitz, you did, they fought. They absolutely fought in this game. They did not quit. TCU is better than we are. They are, you know, and even they have stumbled this year, you know, and that was partly, I think, one of the reasons why K-State's in the game, because TCU has not played up to their capabilities this season. But give the guys credit. They fought in this basketball game, and maybe that's something you can hang your hat on. You're on the road. Nobody expects anything from you but a loss. And you know what? Dang it, we were right there. And if you can just take that with you, maybe you can hang your hat on that for the rest of the season. That, hey, guys, if we give maximum effort, we got a shot against some of these teams versus, oh, we're not going to give any effort, or we're going to give effort for 25 minutes or something. If we just give maximum effort, regardless of who's on the court, we have a chance. I like that approach if those guys can take that approach moving forward.
Real quick, Fitz, a couple things. I would love to let everyone know, if you're not aware, Jacob Poland's going to be joining us on the next Clint Stewart show.
Ooh, wow.
Should be a ton of fun. But Clint mentioned on X the play where you mentioned those 2 turnovers, Fitz. The first was a Nate Johnson just bleh. Kansas State should have thrown that ball in the backcourt.
Mm-hmm.
TCU to go trap right there was easy pickings, right? Like there was no reason. There's no reason not to toss that ball in the backcourt and let somebody just go forward rather than getting trapped the way that Nate kind of did. And he panicked, right? Turnover. We've seen that so many times this season, but also give credit where it is due. Kansas State's last bucket of the game was a Kamari McGriff alley-oop that came right out of that play out of a timeout. So from that point on, after that dunk, it was absolutely abysmal. However, they showed us a play that they can draw up to get points, right?
Yeah.
Seeing it consistently has been, for whatever reason, much different story, guys.
Right.
Very true. Very true. Look, final 90 seconds, you go scoreless in a tight game, you're going to lose. And at the end of the day, he is right. You got to go. Someone's got to make a play. But at the end of the game, you got to give your guys direction. I, for the life of me, have no idea why PJ Haggerty tried to dribble the ball right into the 2 defenders that were there. Why go around them? Why?
Well,
I don't.
They thought, right? I'm not saying this is right. They thought TCU was going to foul because TCU had a foul to give, but you can't live in your fears that way.
No, you got to do your thing. That's exactly it. Quit trying to predict what the other team will do and just do what you got to do.
It happened at Oklahoma State too. Exact same thing where they got in their own heads.
Did he say that after the game that they thought they were going to foul?
Paraphrasing, but yeah.
Oh my God, that makes it worse. I mean, it really does make it worse. I tried to be positive, but my God, what are you doing? You don't even play pickup basketball that way. Oh, well, I thought he was going to foul me. Well, okay, great. Play through contact, for crying out loud. What are we doing, man? We thought they were going to foul because they have a foul to give. Well, and if they don't, then what? There's no counter. It's like, okay, this is what we think. And part of this is, okay, this is what we think they're going to do. But if they do something different, we need to do this. Oh, and if they do something other than that, we need to do this. Preparation. You can't just, well, we thought they're going to do this and that's it. That's the end of it. No, that's you can't play basketball that way, and you damn sure can't coach that way. I'm not a coach, but I've been a player that's been coached, and you just can't play that way. That's not how this thing works. You have to be able to have counter moves and counter for that and counter for that and that and that. It just goes on down the line. It can't just be one way, and that's the end of it. I mean, this is not elementary school basketball, man.
It's craziness to me. I don't. Quit trying to predict what the other team's going to do. Just go run your shit. Just get it done.
This is for September to December, right? This is a football topic. The X's and O's and the schematics, if you want to think of a team being one step ahead of you, if there's one sport that we cover here, guys, it's not basketball.
You're right.
I mean, I get it. I mean, schematics is a huge thing, but I mean, it's huge. It has to be, especially when it comes to winning time. I mean, that's what you need the coaching for, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't that where the coach is supposed to make the most headway, is at winning time? It's kind of like when a team gets to the Final Four. You know, I've heard coaches over and over and over, hey, get me to the Final Four and I'll get you a national championship. They say that all the time. If you can just get me through to the Final Four, I'll get us a national title. Because getting there, not that winning isn't the hard part, but ciphering through all the nonsense that you have to go through and navigate through. Okay, just get me there. And that's what all the good coaches are. Get me to the end of the game. Get me to the end of the game, and I will get us home, guys. Just get us there with a chance, and I'll get us home. It's not what's happening.
Nope.
Not what's happening.
Nope. Yeah, you're right, Gills. In football, schematics are everything. What are they doing? What are they going to do? How do you get around that? And even with basketball, they're going to be man or zone. That should be your really only consideration, I think, at that point. We thought they were going to foul. Well, first of all, I know they had a foul to give. That's fine. But they don't have to give it.
That would have been pretty damn quick for TCU to give it too.
I know that doesn't
80
make
feet
sense to
from the
me.
basket.
I know what happened too is that, hey, we don't want to show them what we really want to do. So we're just going to do this and they're going to foul us. And then we're going to run what we really want to run.
Probably.
Heaven forbid you have 2, 3, 4 different things that you can actually do. Heaven forbid that. But that's exactly what happened. Hey, we don't want to show them. So we're just going to do this. They'll foul us, and then we'll get into what we really want to do versus, hey, we have a look. Oh, okay, they did something different. Well, we're going to give them a different look. I mean, Lord have mercy, guys.
The frustrations continue. K-State's now 1-700 in Big 12 play. What are they? 1-9, right? 1-9. Cincinnati is gettable. That's Wednesday night, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know anyone's name anymore, but I knew that. That's kind of impressive for my brain. Gills, this one is gettable. Cincinnati's got its own problems. Cincinnati fans have turned on their own coach.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if this will be a pillow fight or a slugfest. These two teams might rip into each other trying to get a win. Or this might be the ugliest game you've ever seen.
But
this might be worse than the Puppy Bowl. Those puppies don't execute at all. I'm just going to say it. They do not run plays. But what, Gills, your thoughts on
you said
game?
You said the word gettable, right? Or winnable? What'd you say?
Gettable. Yeah, winnable.
Yeah. That's the state of where things are right now, though, Fitz.
I know.
You know, Kansas State is going to host Iowa State, go to Arizona, have all these games where there's just no chance at winning. And yeah, this is a winnable game for Kansas State at home, and you just played well at Fort Worth. Like, yes, Kansas State can win this game, and they can win some games. It can win some games, but the standard should be to be competitive in all games, and that's just where things are right now.
Yep.
Now, the ones that Kansas State's had a chance to win, obviously, that's the problem. Not coming out on top. Like, this could be, guys, I don't want to say a respectable year, but Arizona State on the road, Oak State on the road, West Virginia on the road, TCU on the road, like road games. This team more often than not has actually been in games. You have better late game execution. 1-700 Fitz turns into 4-8 or something. That's not embarrassing.
Yeah, this is this just kind of keeps getting worse, and I don't know how. But again, I thought TCU was a sign of hope, but let's be clear, when they cut it to 4 at halftime, I knew K-State was going to lose. I thought they'd lose by more than that. I thought they would come out in the second half and get smoked, and but they didn't. They had an extended effort, but they just had patches, as I said, at the end of both halves that kind of put them in big trouble.
Yeah. Even with a 10-point lead with like 5 minutes left, it was a couple, Derek and Kellis, we were all there. Like, are they really going to get this done? And they're like, just watch.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Jamie Dixon and Frogs for that win. We'll see if K-State can pick up another one here along the way. But let's move on to some other stuff, basketball related. There is talk. I'm going to share this now. There's discussion going around that there is the hat's being passed, so to speak. They're trying to figure out if they can raise the money for a buyout. It's $18 million. And let me say this. I hear a lot of people saying, well, coach got arrested, a player's missing, this happened, that happened. It's got to be enough to fire him with cause. No, it's not. You got to violate your contract.
Correct.
Running a crappy program, that doesn't do it. I mean, that should, but cause is a violation of the contracts. And as far as I can tell, nothing of the nature has happened. He is coaching to the best of his abilities and attempting to win games to the best of his abilities. The staff is. I saw a question over here. Why doesn't Coach Driscoll get a chance to, drop those late game plays. He's the offensive guy. The hell if I know. That's why he was brought in. But I don't think he's doing as much coaching as any of us expected. And I don't know if that's Jerome Dang is just like, I'm the boss and I'm not letting anyone do this. I'm going to own this. And I get that from an ego standpoint, but from a wins and losses standpoint, do what you have to win, man. But if it is getting passed around, the big question becomes this. If they can raise $18 million to do this, is that $18 million then, which not necessarily was going to go to football or NIL, but is it not going to go to K-State athletics in any way? I mean, is this money like they're going to come to him for something else and go, I just gave $5 million of the 18. I can't do it. Do you just want that money in football and the hell with basketball? Just let them twist in the wind?
Yes.
I'm kind of there. And my buddy Jay Heidrich, who I saw over here, former player, he's right. I mean, the basketball program for any athletic institution is important. It's one of the two marquee sports, and to show you're giving up on that isn't a good look. But a really good look is having enough money to compete at the highest levels in football. And I don't know. I'd love to hear what the fans think of that. Would you want that money spent on football and Jerome Tang just left to deal with the basketball program, or just want him out, even if it means football may not be as loaded up with money as you want?
Well, my thing is, how much more money would you make in football if you loaded it up? Like if you make a college football playoff, how much do you get? And if you win a game, then how much do you get? You win another game, how much do you get? That's my only thing, is that you load up on football, and I get you're letting basketball go by the wayside. I said, but how do you fix it? What's the best way to fix it? Is it you just ride it out for a couple of years? Because here's the thing to remember. You can fix your basketball program overnight. That's the one thing that you can absolutely do. You can fix your basketball program by making the right hire, having a little bit of money, and going getting the right guys. You can fix that program. Football can fix everything. It literally, if you're good in football, it fixes everything, because then you have that little money to go give to basketball. You have all those things. So to me, that's what would make more sense. And again, I mean, I played college basketball. I love college basketball. But at Kansas State, what's the easiest way to get out of this mess? To me, that's the easiest way. What are you going to go give $18 million to buy him out? Okay, you still got to hire somebody. You still got to hire a staff. That costs money. Do you want – because the complaint will be, well, now we don't want to just go get anybody. We want to go get a top-name guy or whoever. I don't know that you're going to get a top-name guy, but somebody with some respect, something like that. Well, they're not going to come cheap, because they're going to see the mess that you're in, and they're going to say, hey, man, you're going to give me top dollar. Otherwise, I'm not coming. So now you got to deal with that. So the $18 million, that's why when you fire these coaches, and Fitz, you've talked about it many times, firing these college coaches these days, it's not that it's an $18 million buyout. It's going to be more like 30, because now you got to hire a staff and all those things that come with it. It's not just $18 million bucks. So unless you get double that or close to double that, I don't think you do it, because it'll cost you more in the long run. It just will. And also, there's also no guarantee that you're going to get anything better. That's my thing. There's no guarantee of that. So why not load up on football? And I know what people will say, well, maybe there's no guarantee that football is going to be better. Well, there's a better chance of you being better in football when you have the money. There's an absolute better chance, especially with the number of people that are in the transfer portal. Come on now. You can go buy yourself a football team. And I know people don't like that. Well, that's the way it's being done everywhere.
Yep.
So you can do that. That's my thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, but that's my point of view.
Whatever they do with when they move on, who knows? Maybe they'll keep this group around another year and they'll rebuild their roster and hit the magic 8 ball again. I don't know. I don't see it. They're not going to have the kind of NIL money they have.
But
I'm surprised they did this year, but here we are.
To not have the NIL money that you need or have had in the last couple of years, could that be a blessing for Tang and his staff? Like, that magic wand with X number of millions of dollars is not magic. It's not working. It's going to be back-to-back losing seasons with one of the more competitive NIL purses in the country. And I touched on this in my double delivery, but let alone the fact that, guys like PJ and Kostic are, good players or decent players, whatever. They're getting too much though, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about mismanaging your cap, so to speak. If you just, and I'm not saying guys aren't going to make a penny, because even the lowest of programs have something to work with, but you go out and grab a freshman, who's not going to probably demand or want, because you got to keep that in mind. Blame Tang and Kansas State all you want. There's agents and there's two sides to every story, but a freshman coming in probably doesn't have much leeway. So yes, if Kansas State can raise $18 million, not only do you have to go get a new coach, Big B, but also a new coach is probably going to want that NIL money to play around with. Whereas Tang here, it's been proven with back-to-back seasons that a lot of money does not result in wins. And so I don't want to say you just go to Tang and say, hey, like, go win with no NIL, but it can, because like, guys, Baylor, the last, 18, 19 years he was in Waco, NIL was not a thing. And Scott Drew, with Jerome Tang there as his right-hand man for part of that, was a successful program. So could be a good thing if the NIL just dries up and Tang sticks around. You never know. That's my optimism for the day.
But let's keep this in mind. Next year, we're going to have the rev share. In basketball, at K-State will get around $6 million a year in that. So it won't be zero. It's still a decent number. It does take some pressure off having to, maybe there's some donors that still want to give $1 million or $2 million. I don't know who they are or why they're millionaires spending money that way, but maybe there is. I just know this, and I've said this 1 million times, and I'm going to repeat it until everyone hears it. If you're simply shopping to find the best player by buying them with the most money, you're not getting a player that is invested in succeeding. He's invested in earning the money from you. The winning isn't part of it. Hey, I'm getting paid. Okay, I turned it over in the final seconds. Where's my check? I just maybe they can be a little more intelligent with it, but I'm going to put it out there. I got to say this. We heard that as a freshman, Taj Manning is going to be all Big 12, right? Jerome Tang said that at a press conference. We all looked at each other like, well, we must not know something then. No, he didn't know something. You look at the players that they've put a lot of money into. I mean, you go to Serbia and you get a guy that can shoot the ball. Did you notice he couldn't play defense? That he had no defensive fundamentals? Did you even notice that when you were scouting him?
Or dribble.
Folks, the problem here isn't they're wasting the NIL. The problem is they can't evaluate talent at all. I heard from someone that Nate Johnson was going to be really good. He's probably the best player. He's better than PJ Haggerty. Okay. Well, that wasn't right either. I just don't understand. I literally think lacking a recruiting service putting 5 stars in front of a kid, they don't know how good someone is overall. Because that's all they recruit out of high school is 5 and high 4s. And then they miss out on those guys after being listed because, as I've said, putting K-State on there drives your price up because every other school knows K-State's going to overpay for talent. This has just turned into the barn's on fire and the cows are still in it. The cows aren't in the barn. It'd be the horses. I just showed I grew up in the city, didn't I? Damn it.
Yeah.
I was rolling.
back
It's
up-
so frustrating. I'm just so frustrated right now, and I know the fans are.
To back up your point, I did, another double delivery I talked about. Like Brendan Hasen doesn't play at Iowa. RJ Jones doesn't play at TCU. Dorian Finnister's at Louisiana, right? Like go on and on. Buddy Rich at UTSA. Like, and there's some good ones in there. Give credit where it's due. Day-Day Ames, Ugo Onyenso. I'll give you a chore, even though it didn't work out. You evaluated that talent at least. There's some good, but there's some not good in there. And so why can't the staff evaluate talent? I mean, you guys, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know.
Yeah, literally, someone put that up right as you said that. Why
Yeah.
can't this staff evaluate? I don't know. I have no clue. But I know this: the numbers for the assistant coaches were published this week, which they've been available. I'm surprised none of us did it. I understand your associate head coach is getting a pretty good paycheck. $550,000 a year. That'll buy a few things in Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah.
But what is Jareem Dowling doing getting that kind of money? He's not your assistant head coach. Nobody can define what he does. As far as I know, he wasn't in Europe doing the evaluations. That was Coach Winchester. Bang, bang. I don't know what the man does. And we've all kind of sat around and joked about it, but now you see how much he's getting paid.
It would be one thing if it was
Criminal.
like recruiting, but there's no high school recruiting going on right now.
That's what I thought he was in charge of.
So the earlier Driscoll, the comment that whatever about Driscoll coaching, like maybe I'm lost, but I see Driscoll still. I see him in the huddles. I see him.
But it's like that moment before the coach comes all the way in and then tells him what to do. It's like,
Okay.
He's not mapping things out. Coach Tang comes in to do that.
Okay.
I think at least it looks like that to me. Driscoll's in there just kind of talking to the team while Tang sorts out what he's going to tell him. I don't know what's going on, guys.
Well, I mean, there was a comment that said that Tang might be better with no money. When you go back to what he did at Baylor, first of all, there's always been money involved in everything.
Yes.
So let's remember that. But going back to his days at Baylor, because somebody else always said is that, hey, why do Baylor want him back? I go, because he was really good there at what he did at Baylor. But you know what? There's something to be said, guys. Sometimes a guy's a better assistant than they are a head coach. When they don't have to be the guy, some people are better at being that. Everybody's not meant to be the leader. And I know that seems like a negative comment when you say that about somebody. Hey, you're not good enough to be the leader. Well, number one, sometimes you don't want to be the leader, but you know what? I'm not going to pass up the paycheck that comes with being the leader, but some guys are just not good at being in charge. Some guys are just, and guys and gals, I don't want to make it about men. Some people in general just aren't good at being the main guy, at being the decision maker. Some people just aren't good at that. They're very good at taking direction and maybe even putting together a plan and handing it off and saying, hey, what do you think about this? Okay, great. Now go execute it. And I can go do that. But when it has to be me that puts it together and it's my plan and I have to sign off, maybe I'm not so good at that. And maybe that's what we're running into. There's plenty of guys. You guys have done sports or seen sports long enough to know there are plenty of head coaches that are running around, or plenty of assistant coaches that got a head coaching job were awful, but they are very, very good assistants and top assistants at that. They're just not good at being the head coach. And to me, I think that's okay. Yeah. I really do think that's okay. And maybe that's what we're running into here, is that because there is no denying that Jerome Tang was outstanding at Baylor. You can't deny that. You just can't. Anybody who wants to, you're fooling yourself. He was that guy at Baylor.
Yep.
But as a head coach, maybe not so good. And even now, Baylor, they would take him back in a heartbeat. Because if you look at their program, they've kind of hit the skid since he's left. If you really pay attention, it's like they have not been as good. So just something to keep in mind. I'm not 100% positive saying that that's what's going on here. All I'm saying is everybody in walk of life, no matter what it is, you've run into that person that is really good at being the second guy and not so good at being the number one guy.
Baylor, he's $18 million. You can have him. I don't know, man. Let's get to this. One of my problems with Coach Tang is he's gotten miserable at messaging. Just some of the crap he says in post game. And again, just as the team played better, Gills, you agree with this. Coach Tang was better in post game this one time. Maybe it's because the team did play with more effort and he was less defensive, but he wasn't looking to blame everyone else but himself. At least it felt that way to me. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'd agree, man. I mean, I touched on it earlier. I'm not, to be honest, like, I don't know what else to add. Like, that was, well, no, the one game, if there's one loss this year where it's like, I'm not going to bash this team given everything that's going on. Like,
right.
I'd give Tang the benefit of the doubt because he said, for the most part, right? We mentioned that late game execution, but for the most part, said the right things. And yeah.
Last game was, last time we handled it on the Insiders a week ago. It was a disaster. It was one thing after another, very defensive. And I want to get to Moby Ike Garuka at this point because I'm setting this up for this. There's been a lot of questions around Moby, what's going on. And members of the media have been told, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Even one person was told to stop looking into it because there's nothing to do with basketball. None of that tells us we should stop doing our job. First of all, don't tell the media to stop doing your job. It would have been helpful if someone in an adult manner had said straight out, Moby's not with us right now. He's dealing with a very serious family matter, and he's at home in Ireland for an unknown span of time. We just don't know how long it'll take or if he'll be back. This is private matter. Enough. And you know what I would have done? Okay. But what happened with this vague messaging is people started to spread rumors about an arrest because the void will be filled. There was a brief flurry of it's an immigration issue. What else was there? There was a third one. But look, we found out what it is. We understand why they weren't talking about it. But why did you leave this vague gray area where the fans immediately wanted to fill that space with an explanation? I'm just going to tell you, folks, everyone who finds out what it is understands. But they never made that clear that this was a deeply personal issue. This staff is so horrendous at messaging and public relations. From day one, from season one, standing on a table, announcing it's going to be this way and expect to win, and then you go to shit. The messaging's just awful. Moby, you're in our prayers, and I hope all K-Staters, look, I know you want to know. I know, I get it. I would too. You're curious. We're all curious. There's so much going on. Let's not do this one, okay? Some of you are going to be mad. He knows, he's just not telling us. Stop it. Nobody's holding it back to say, I've got it and you can't have it. That's not what's going on here. Now, I expect it to get out. I really do, because we found out not through anyone related to athletics or basketball. In fact, we didn't find out. Wyatt Wheeler, the new guy on the beat, did find out. And I'm not to insult Wyatt, but it was kind of by chance. Moby had friends outside of basketball at Kansas State. Right? You would expect that. So they also know what's going on, and they're beginning to talk to people, and it probably will get out. I wish it wouldn't. So there we are on that. If you guys want to say anything, you can.
I'll chime in and say it's kind of tough waters to navigate with everything, but and I almost hesitate to bring this up, but Naquan Tomlin and a chore and rumors you heard about Doug McDaniel or Coleman Hawkins or dudes aren't bought enough the court, or they're, guys got in a little brawl or a fight, or, over the years stuff mounts. And that's why I think you saw some of the reaction with some of the vagueness here. But when I think Wyatt said, like, in his initial little post, like, it's a private matter worth respecting. I think it's natural for a fan or somebody to get a little defensive there. And, well, no, look at all that's happened in the past. But guys, like, truly, this is private matter worth respecting.
Mm-hmm. Again, I know, Moby, you're not watching, but you're in my prayers, brother. You're in my prayers. You're in a lot of people's prayers. Any of us who have met you know you're a great young man. Boy, life can throw you some curveballs. Next up, let's talk about, you know what? I'm going to talk about something I didn't plan on talking about. I will be interviewing Colin Klein tomorrow. You know what? As you watch this video, if you got anything you want me to ask Coach Klein, go ahead and drop it in the comments, whether it's in the live comments or after the video's up. I'll sift through those and see if there's anything out there. It's going to be about a 30-minute interview. It's going to be the kickoff of a new podcast we're doing that replaces Life of Fitz. I'm moving on from that. It's gotten to be kind of a bear. And honestly, I think in the short time we've done it, hour-long interviews don't work unless you're Joe Rogan. I mean, I don't know how he gets the numbers he does. He's just like 5 hours. I don't get it. But these will be shorter interviews, and it'll all be with people associated or that were associated with Kansas State. I'm going to stop the Life of Fitz and Fighting Ever Fighting, a podcast that Cole started, is going to come back and be revamped. And I'll probably do most of the shows, but Gills or someone else might hop in there on occasion because they're interview shows, and we hope you like it. I think we're going to drop them on Fighting Ever Fighting Fridays. So
I like that.
And we'll do it for approximately half the year. And as we move into late summer, it'll shut down and we'll turn our attention to football.
People say, you said people can ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you one. If you don't ever have the beer and steak dinner with Chris Kleiman, when do you have one with Colin Klein?
Well, it won't be beer with Colin. I'm going to show you that. That's a good idea, but I'm afraid he'd want me to feed the family, and I can't afford that, man. He's got 17 children. It's like an orphanage over there, man. He's just got all these kids. Every time I see him, he's got another kid. I'm like, where did that kid come from? What a great family. But yeah, maybe I will. Hopefully I'll still do it with Coach Kleiman. If I'm him, I'm never coming back from Florida, but that's just me. It feels like Florida out there right now.
Yeah. Awesome outside today.
75, Big B. We got 75 degrees in Kansas.
That's good. That's good. It was 80 here. But yeah, it was great. Finally, because I just came from a place where it was 20. So yuck.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I'm excited about, I hate to turn the page on basketball, but I think we probably should at some point. I'm excited to see what football is going to bring. Look, I was a proponent, or I'll just say that. Let me just say this. I was a guy that wasn't the highest on Coach Kleiman, and I think I know you guys knew it, and a lot of people out there knew it based on the things that I said, but also based on the things that I watched and had access to. Some of that stuff, I just wasn't that high. I thought he did a fine job. I'm just excited about what's going to happen now. I just thought that some of the stuff that was going on, we could do better. That's all. And I think that's people that know me. That's all I ever want, is for us to always put our best foot forward, knowing that you can't, because nobody's perfect, but at least try. And I just didn't feel like the last that they did before. I think they will now. I just think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a better football program overall. Not that the last one was bad either, because I know that's how the internet is. Well, you said something was better, that means the other one was bad. No, that's not what it means.
Nope.
That's not what it means at all. It just means you think something is going to be better than what something else was already good. And that's okay. I'm super excited. I really am, guys. I'm excited. I don't get excited easy. I don't, but I'm excited.
I think once Colin Klein moved on to A&M, the offense wasn't the same.
Nope.
And when you're a coach that specializes on one side of the ball, which most coaches do, and being defense, you've got to have people running the other side of the ball that you don't have to worry about, or as little as you have to. You stick your nose in a meeting and say, hey, I'm seeing this on film, fine. But I don't think he ever felt that way. He hired a guy had never been a coordinator before, and he hired a guy that had actually been fired as a coordinator, and it was him firing himself at Utah State as head coach. He was coordinating, and he called someone in to do it. And I just think everything kind of spiraled, and everything that was going on in the world of college athletics wasn't part of the deal. That's not why he wanted to coach. And I think having a young guy at this period, not that Chris Kleiman's old.
You're old.
He said, I'm old. I am older than him. How the hell I became older than the coaches I cover, I don't know, and I don't appreciate it. Hire some old guys, damn it, Gene. Gee, it's all young guys running around. But having a young guy in this era, aka Kenny Dillingham, you're more flexible. You're able to adjust to changes better when you're young, and you got the energy, because the job went from, just throwing out some numbers there, 80 hours a week to 120 hours a week. It's just relentless now. And it's relentless into the off season with the portal. It's just a mess, and there's no sign of getting fixed. I feel good about Colin being here, and I like his staff. Now, you can question the experience. Will they have the answers? Okay, I'll listen to that. But I think the recruiting and the portal work is going to go up dramatically, because these guys have that fire, that hunger to make things happen.
Yeah. And, Big B mentioned this earlier with hoops, a head coach being a leader of men, and how good or bad a job Jerome Tang has done with that, right? Colin Klein has more than checked all the boxes that are possible for, running offense and the scheme and some of that stuff. Easy to get on board with that. If there was one thing to guys really, I'm not saying question, but keep an eye out for, is just being the head coach and running everything. Now, the assistants can be as good as anybody, and the scheme, the plays, it can all be great. Colin is not, it's funny. Chris Kleiman, K-State's got to get rid of him and go get a real hard, what? Well, that's not Colin Klein.
No.
He's the exact opposite. So,
yeah.
Be a leader, man.
But I'll volunteer. I'll do it for half of what Dream Dowling gets paid. I'll be on the staff with Colin. I'll quit everything else I'm doing for just half of what Dream Dowling's making. And I'll be the guy that curses. So, like, if Colin's mad at the team, he'll say, you guys, and he'll point at me, and I'll call him mother. You know what I'm going to do? And I'll be the one that says it all, so he doesn't have to. Because nothing will probably scare the daylights out of a college football team than their coach saying, gosh. I love Colin. He's one of the best people you'll ever meet. And you know what the thing about Colin is? I'm going to be blunt. I'm a Christian. I'm around really ardent Christians. A lot of them don't have much personality. They're so careful about everything. Colin's great to talk to. He'll talk about it. He's great. He just doesn't find a need to drop in the SHIT that I did earlier. He can do life without that. Wish I could. But I would be good at that, though. Gills, you know that, right? Just point to me, and I'll come up with a word. I got them all right there. I'm Irish.
These newcomers, these new players from the portal, yes, but the relationships, not even relationships, the interactions that some of the former players might have had with you in a presser where you're joking and being all fitzy, they're not going to take you seriously if you try to yell and curse at them. Come on.
Those mother truckers.
Phillip Rivers and Colin Clement get along real well.
Oh my God.
How many kids? Phillip Rivers has what?
10, doesn't he?
I think 11.
Like
I think he did get to a starting lineup. What's this? I want to, oh, God dang it. It's not working. Yeah. Stormy
Easy.
Cyclone is why would Tang want to stick around? And I think that's exactly it. If you want him to negotiate it down, I think your biggest ploy is, oh, we're having you back. Yeah, we're not going to pay you $18 million unless you want to go for less. I think that's literally, I don't think he wants to be back. Speaking of Chris Kleiman, what was happening wasn't good for his health. I can't see that this is good for anyone's health related to basketball. This has got to be a dreadful existence right now. You feel like everyone's turned on you. And, honestly, I was a supporter. I can't support what's going on in any direction right now of the basketball program. So,
especially for somebody who is as optimistic as glass half full as Tang is, you can talk to anybody in the coaching profession that just knows Jerome Tang, period. Like, what's his greatest strength? It's that he always sees the good in everything and everybody and so on and so forth. Now, for right or wrong, that's neither here nor there. But for somebody who is so positive all the freaking time, it seems like, right? This situation and that does not mix well.
No, because, beyond the bad play, the just unorganized look of the team, they've had a lot of injuries. That's compounded the problem. And they've got other things going on that's compounded that problem. So I get that some things have gone wrong, but let's be honest, it started to go wrong before all of the injuries piled up. The losing started. And I can't figure it out.
Last season.
Yeah, they started off pretty good this year, and then that team, but I look at some of those games that they won or almost won. I'm like, now you can't stay on the court with bad teams sometimes.
And that's my biggest beef, Fitz, is that everybody looked at the Nebraska game and you thought, oh, man, we should have beat Nebraska. Yep. They're not that good. They haven't played anybody. Yeah, Nebraska's very good. Yeah. And K-State had them. That's the thing that drives you insane. How much – and I don't want to hear about the injuries over the last couple of weeks. This train had started going the wrong direction long before that. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm like, what in the hell happened? How are we this bad when we were hanging with a top 10 basketball team in the country? And we were right there with them, had an opportunity. Basically, if you ask me, they should have won the game. And yet, here's where we are. If we played Nebraska today, they beat us by 25 points. I have no qualms with saying that. They would beat us by 25 points in a game where we should. Now, you could say, well, it's early in the season, but usually teams are getting better. They're getting better. Nebraska got better. K-State has not. They've gone the other direction, and I just can't. I just don't know why. Well, I do, but it's baffling on why. I guess that's my question on why are we going the opposite direction when you should always be getting better? K-State got worse. Yeah.
It's not just a Big 12 thing. Like,
no,
Bowling Green is not in the Big 12, not even close to that level of competition. So it's not like the competition just got tough and K-State had a hard time navigating it. No, it's ever since that game in late November in Kansas City, Fitz, we were there. Like, ever since then, it's just all gone down. Creighton was the one bright spot, but that was just a flash in the pan looking back at it.
Yeah. And that was a good win because Creighton was just at that moment starting to play some pretty good basketball.
Creighton started turning it around after that game. However, I thought about this on Saturday after the game. Like, Kansas State had a 20-point lead against Creighton in Omaha and won it by 7 points, I believe. Up by 18 in Fort Worth against TCU. Like, I'm not saying that early on in the season K-State just automatically wins, but this team showed that it can take a big lead and still somehow win, even when the 3-point shooting cools off. Because in the first half, Marcus Johnson, Kansas State was hot in Fort Worth. It cooled off in the second half. K-State loses. However, in Creighton, it was a 3-point festival, right? And then they hit 1 3-pointer in the second half against Creighton and still won, right? Good teams find ways to win when shots aren't falling. I'm not saying K-State was a good team back in December, but now it's clearly not a good team because once the shots stop falling, you start turning it over and everything just kind of falls apart. So
back to talent evaluation. Marcus Johnson has not seen much time this year because honestly, he's out of shape. And maybe he's just a guy that carries a lot of weight, but you signed him. You chose him. And he hasn't played much. He's not very good at some areas of the game, but the dude could shoot. That was obvious when he was at Bowling Green that he could shoot. How do you think he felt in the Bowling Green game, watching his former team beat his new team when he's hardly even playing? He was on fire. What I like about it, though, it makes me feel good because the kid struggled, and it's fun to see. I think Big B and I can relate to this. The heavy guy to go out there and just light it up. It's kind of nice because this is the advantage I always had in like City League or something. My belly was like a barrier where you couldn't get your hand up in my face enough because I had a comfort zone there created, and Marcus does it too. It's pretty cool. But that was fun to watch. That was a lot of fun to watch, to see that kid break loose and just go unconscious. The first one barely went in, but then the next 4 were pure. And even the one he missed to close it off with was on target for the most part. So, right?
Yeah, I was impressed more with Marcus and just his overall play. Take us aside the 3-point shooting, like spacing was good.
Yep.
I thought he had, everything. I'm not saying every box was checked, but it wasn't like even remotely close to the level that him and CJ Jones had been on for most of Big 12 play.
Oh, you had to bring up CJ Jones. Hey, Big B, we need another vote on this. Has CJ Jones regressed dramatically from last year?
100%.
Is that even a question?
100%. I mean, first of all, I actually do feel bad for him, guys. And the reason that I feel bad for him is because he came to Kansas State. He should have never transferred from where he was to begin with.
Illinois, Chicago. Nope.
And then he comes to Kansas State. It doesn't go great. And then he's like, okay, you know what? I got to get out of here. And nobody wanted him. That's where the problem. That's why I feel bad. Now, don't get me wrong. You make your own decisions. You got to lay in your own bed. And I mean, like, unless they told him, you got to get out, which I don't know that Kansas State really would have done that because then they took him back. So it's like, if you take him back, can you really tell somebody, hey, you need to transfer? Oh, nobody wants you. It's okay. Come on back. So I don't think that happened. I think he may have left on again, I don't have the information. That's just outside looking in. It doesn't seem like somebody would tell you to leave. And then when nobody wants you, okay, yeah, it's okay for you to come back. I think he left on his own. And then we took him back. And I'm just like, I just don't know that was the right thing for him. I think he needs to drop down a level. He's not a Big 12 basketball. And that's okay to say because, number one, that's okay to be. It's okay to be somebody that's not a Big 12 caliber basketball player. There's way worse things in the world than to say that you're not that. He just doesn't happen to be one of those guys.
CJ, real quick, there's no way that no team out of the 360 whatever didn't want him. Okay, the asking price for CJ, right? Just because you played at a Big 12 team that went below 500 doesn't mean you're entitled to X amount of dollars, or you should get that. And now he's still there. K-State has an open spot, and we all know what happens next. But yeah, there's two sides.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
There's two parts of your story.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually. There's no way that nobody wanted him, but his asking price and maybe where he wanted to go, those caliber schools, maybe they didn't want him. And he didn't want to be embarrassed by dropping down a level, which to me, at some point, and I don't know, it's hard to get in somebody's head. I just want to play.
Yep.
Wherever that is, I just want to play.
Right.
Well, CJ's not, in his mind or his camp, whatever, not unreasonable to come back and think you can compete in the Big 12. Now, CJ wasn't a superstar last year by any means, but it wasn't this bad. Like, for a player to return to the same program another year, like, it's almost a slam dunk that they're going to get better to some extent, to some degree. They don't regress the way this has kind of transpired. So,
I agree.
CJ, you know what? To come back, he started before Doug McDaniel got out of the doghouse. He started all the non-conference games, I think, last year for this team.
As the point guard.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to go have a drink. That's it for the Insiders. We appreciate you watching. Big B and I will be back in the morning on the Big 12 Insiders channel with the power rankings. I'm not going to tell you where K-State's at in those because you probably have no idea. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching the K-State Insiders. This has been a GoPowercat.com and Spirit Street production.